All
Awesome.
right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds good. Good morning. Welcome to our Saturday morning yoga. Thank you so much for joining me today on the mat. My name is Sarah. I'm so honored to be part of your yoga practice. Hopefully, today's flow is going to be nice and beginner friendly. To try to take it pretty slow, go through a lot of alignment cues. We're going to go ahead and get started just in a nice thunderbolt position, sitting with the hips on the heels, just at the back of the mat, knees together, and just start to bring the awareness inward. Starting with a nice deep inhale, feeling the crown of the head rise, the shoulders falling away from the ears. Maybe allowing the eyes to close or gaze to soften. As you exhale, just relax through the fingers, relax through the toes. And to start the practice with a breathing exercise, our three-part breath, yogic breath, starting with a hand on your stomach, a hand over your heart if you'd like. Yogic breath is kind of how you should breathe, a diaphragmatic breath instead of just breathing with the chest. It's a much deeper breath. You start with an inhale into the belly. You're going to move the air up into the ribs and move it into the chest. On the exhale, try to release the breath first from the chest, then from the ribs, and finally from the belly. Continuing this cycle, three parts, breathing into the belly, the ribs, the chest, and exhaling, chest, ribs, belly. Just noticing your hands gently lifting with the inhale and falling back down with the exhales. Taking 2 or 3 more rounds of this breath. Allow the breath to be nice and deep and slow. Releasing the hands here. Take another big inhale, reach the fingertips overhead. And then exhale, we're just going to gently fold the chest forward, walking the hands in front of you. Allow your chest to be nice and heavy, forehead comes to the mat. Our child's pose here, if you'd like, you can open the knees a little bit more away from each other if that makes it more comfortable. This is a nice resting posture and is always a super great position to come back to at any point in the practice. If you're feeling like you just need to take a moment to settle down, come back to yourself. You're always more than welcome back to this pose. Breathing nice and deep into the back rib cage. Exhale, maybe open the mouth, let it go. We're going to inhale, activate through the fingertips, kind of tenting our palms, lifting the elbows off of the ground. We're inhale, walk the fingertips over to the left. Maybe the right hand stacks on top of the left. We breathe into the side body. And exhale, walk the fingertips back through center. And we'll walk them over to the right. Left hand comes on top of the right. Inhale deep into the side body. Exhale, let it go. We're going to come back through center. From here, we're going to round through the spine, lifting the hips, coming onto all fours to the tabletop. We'll inhale, drop the navel down, pull the shoulder blades back towards ourselves as we gaze forward, moving that chest in between our hands. On the exhale, we'll round through the spine, pulling the shoulder blades away, tucking the pelvis. Our cat-cows is such a great way to warm up the spine. Inhale, open the chest, pull the navel down towards the ground. Exhale all the air out. The navel pulls towards the spine, and we tuck the pelvis. Two more here. We'll inhale, lift and open through the chest. Exhale, round it out. Coming back through center here, we're going to just tuck the back toes and push our hips back onto our heels once again for a nice toe stretch. Feel free to come out of the toe stretch if it gets to be too much at any point. We're going to inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, the left hand is going to fold overhead to the right ear. You can release the right hand down. Exhale, we're just going to gently pull the left ear towards the left shoulder, just a gentle pressure on the head here. Wonderful. You can release the head, maybe bring that chin towards your shoulder to round it out and back up. We'll inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, right hand comes overhead to the left ear. The left hand can drop, and we just gently add some pressure, pulling the left ear away from the left shoulder, creating space. Releasing the right hand, feel free to round the chin down towards the chest and bring it back up through center if you'd like to add a little bit of arm movement here to awaken the shoulders. Wonderful. We're going to plant our hands back in front of us, releasing our toes, coming back into a tabletop. We'll get into our wrist a little bit, just turning the fingertips back towards ourselves, trying to press the bottom of the palm into the ground. Just gently, slightly move the hips back here. You should feel a nice sensation through the wrists. We're going to flip our hands onto the back side now, pointing the fingertips towards each other, towards the middle, and just gently rock a little bit side to side. Just being nice, gentle movement, nothing too much. Perfect. We'll place the palms back on the mat, spreading our fingers nice and wide. Just our wrists are really important in yoga. We tend to put a lot of pressure on them. So we're just going to strengthen them a little bit as well as stretch. We're going to lift the wrists and lower. Lift the wrist, try to keep all the fingers planted and lower. Just lift and lower. One more time, lift the wrist. Lower it back down. Perfect. Maybe shake them out a little bit if you'd like. We're going to go ahead from here. Find a nice tabletop. We're going to extend the right leg behind us straight. Forward. You have an option here to just do it with one leg, or if you'd like, you can try to take this next exercise also extending the left arm. Totally up to you. We're going to just inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bring the elbow and knee towards each other. You can also keep the hand planted and just bring the knee in towards your chest. We'll extend back out. Inhale. Exhale, bring knee and elbow into the chest. Extend back out. Inhale, crunch it in. Extend it back out. We'll release the right hand down, crunch the right knee into the chest, and gently place this knee in between the hands. The foot kind of comes to your left hip. And we inhale, open the chest here. Really try to push that left hip down towards the ground to square off the hips. Inhale. Exhale, gently release the chest over the leg, the bent knee if you'd like. Inhaling back up, we're going to pivot now. So we turn to face the long side of the mat, this back knee and toe turn up. We'll inhale, reach the arms up. On the exhale, the left hand comes inside the left leg as the right hand reaches over. Inhaling, try to open the shoulders and chest a little bit more, maybe gaze up. And then we'll exhale, just fold down the center. We'll walk the hands back to the front of the mat, turn the hips to square them off, and slide this knee back into our tabletop position. Taking this to the other side, we're going to extend the left leg behind us. Try to really engage through the core here. And if you'd like to challenge yourself a little bit more, take the right hand, extending it out. Inhale, lengthen through the fingers and toes. Exhale, bring the knee towards the chest, elbow towards the knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, crunch it in. We'll inhale, lengthen. Place the right hand down. Crunch this left knee in towards the chest. Really pull it up towards the chest. And then slide the left knee in between the hands. This is our pigeon pose here. We just gently rotate the right hip down. We'll inhale, open the chest, gaze up. Exhale, gently release the chest over the bent knee, fold. Inhaling back up, we're going to pivot to face the long side of the mat, the right knee and toes point up. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, right hand to the inside of the right leg as the left arm reaches over. Another deep breath, maybe open the shoulders a little bit more. And then exhale, we're going to fold forward. Center folds. Gently walking the hands again to the front of the mat. Turning the hips to square them back towards the ground. We're going to slide this right knee back towards us into our tabletop, making sure our knees are stacked right under our hips. We're just going to gently walk our hands forward and start to lower the chest all the way to the ground into a puppy pose. Really want to make sure the hips stay stacked over the knees. You can rest the forehead on the ground or maybe gaze forward for a little bit of a deeper stretch. Taking an inhale and exhale. Another deep breath in this pose. Inhale and exhale. On the next inhale, we're round through the spine, bending through the elbows, dropping the hips all the way to the ground. We're going to come into our Sphinx pose, where our elbows are stacked right under our shoulders, our palms are on the ground, and we inhale, gaze forward, really try to open the chest here, pull the shoulder blades back. From here, we'll start with the left knee. We're going to bend this left knee, bringing it in line with our hips, maybe flex through the toes if you'd like. The right hand is going to thread underneath of our left shoulder, our left armpit. And then we're going to take this left arm and swing it around, coming into a spinal twist here. If you'd like, you can try to gaze over the left shoulder. We'll inhale, untwist, coming back to bring the left hand down, the right hand unthreads. We plant both hands kind of under our shoulders. We're going to inhale, just press up. Maybe you press up a little bit, keep the elbows bent, or maybe you kind of extend the elbows a bit more. We'll exhale, release the chest down. We're going to take the right arm now and extend it out next to us, making a 90-degree angle. Exhale, we're going to roll onto our right side, trying to get a nice shoulder stretch here. You can kind of take this top leg and place it behind the other leg for a deeper stretch. We'll inhale, come back through center, releasing the right arm, coming back into our Sphinx pose. Shoulders stacked over the elbows. Inhale. And exhale. We're going to take it to the other side. The right knee bends and comes in line with the hips. You can flex the foot if you'd like. We're going to take the right arm, the left arm, and thread it underneath of our right armpit. We'll inhale, open up with the right arm, taking a nice deep twist here, maybe gazing to the right. You can also use that left hand to kind of hold the right knee down. Wonderful. We're going to untwist, bring the right arm back over. The left arm unthreads. We plant the hands under the shoulder. Inhale. Gently lift the chest. Exhale down. The left arm comes right perpendicular to the body here. And we just gently press and roll onto our left side so that we're getting a nice shoulder stretch. I like to take the top leg and put it behind the bottom leg to make it nice and deep. Releasing here, coming back onto your belly. Wonderful. We're going to plant both hands under our shoulders and take our cobra from here. Inhale, the shoulder blades come together. We lift the chest. Maybe you take a baby cobra with bent elbows. Maybe you like to really engage through the glutes, squeeze them as you lift all the way through the elbows. Inhaling, gazing forward. And on the exhale, we'll bend the knees, sit the hips back into our child's pose. Wonderful. Coming back into a tabletop position here. Hands stacked under the wrists. We're going to go ahead and inhale, bring the right knee to the right chest and step the right foot in between the hands. Tucking the back toes, lifting the back knee. We're coming into a runner's lunge. Really get low with those hips, straight with that back knee. Exhale, we'll release the knee down. And we're just taking a low lunge. You can stay with hands grounded, or you can bring the hands up onto the knee for a little bit of a deeper stretch. Really maybe push the hips down. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, our hands plant down. We tuck the back toes and we pivot the back foot to face all the way up so that we're coming into a side lunge. You can bring the hands in front of you here. We're facing the long side of the mat. You can lower the hips all the way down. Maybe you just stay in a lifted side lunge. And we pivot back forward. Wonderful. Planting the hands to frame the foot. We'll slide this right foot back into our tabletop. Taking it to the other side, the left knee comes in towards the chest. Step the left foot in between the hands, tuck the back toes, lift the knee, and sink nice and low into a runner's lunge. Maybe rock a little bit forward and back. We'll drop the back knee down and we're just going to lift the chest here. You can keep the hands planted or maybe lift up into your low lunge, hands on the knee, hands on the hips. Inhale, open the chest. Exhale, release the hands down. We're going to tuck the back toes and pivot the toes all the way around so that they point upward. And we're just in a nice side lunge. So take whatever variation of a side lunge that feels good. Really just want to get into that inner hip here in the right leg. And then we'll pivot back to center. This time we're going to step the back foot forward, keeping our feet about hip distance. We'll bend the knees pretty generously and exhale, release the chest over. We're in a forward fold here, but we're going to make it a nice dangling pose, releasing the upper body, becoming very nice and heavy. Allowing the knees to stay bent here if you'd like to grab opposite elbows and maybe kind of lift and shake it out, maybe go side to side. Just making yourself extra heavy, letting go of the head, the neck. Wonderful. From here, we're going to inhale, straighten through the knees, hands come to the shin. We'll halfway lengthen, straightening through the spine, ears pulling away from the shoulders. On the exhale, we'll bend the knees and round ourselves all the way up to standing on the inhale, arms overhead. Exhale, releasing arms by your side. Taking a nice deep breath here, just allowing the blood to kind of settle. Wonderful. We're going to go ahead and step back into our warrior two from here. So we're going to keep our right foot planted forward, maybe in the center of your mat. We're going to step the left foot back. Pretty nice, generous, wide distance. We want the left toes to point towards the long side of the mat, front toes point forward. Inhale, arms overhead. On the exhale, we're gonna bend into the front knee, bring the arms parallel to the ground, gaze forward into our warrior two. Inhale, we'll straighten through the legs, arms reach overhead. Exhale, bend into the knee, warrior two. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lift. We're going to pivot the front toes to face forward. We're actually going to pivot both toes to face towards each other just a little bit. Hands on the hips. Inhale. Exhale, tilting from the hips. We're going to take a wide-legged forward fold. Maybe your hands ground. Taking an inhale, you can halfway lift. Exhale, see if you can fold a little bit deeper. Inhaling back up to standing, hands on your hips. We're gonna just turn on our heels so that the toes point outward. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, we squat into our goddess pose, bending the knees. Getting really nice and low with our hips. Taking a breath here. Then we'll inhale, extend back up. Front toes turn to point forward. Back toes shift to point towards the long side of the mat. We're coming back into our warrior two, bending nice and deep through the front knee. Kind of want to be able to see your big toe over the knee. Maybe that means kind of pushing the front knee away to the side. Perfect. From here, we're going to inhale, reach the right fingertips back overhead. And then exhale, this right forearm comes to the thigh as we reach the left fingertips up and over into our side angle pose. Nice straight arm, gazing over, up, under the armpit. Perfect. From here, we're going to pivot the back toes. The left fingertips come down to the ground. So we're in a lunge. We reach the right fingertips up to the sky. Wonderful. From here, the right hand is going to plant inside of the right leg, and you can kind of move the right foot a little bit towards the edge of the mat. We're going to set this back knee down. We're in a lizard lunge. You can get nice and low with your hips. Inhale, gaze forward. On the exhale, we're just gently push the hips back. Try to straighten through the front knee as we take a variation of a half split here. Just gently release the chest forward if you can. Know if you have some yoga blocks, these are really great postures to use some yoga blocks with. It can be kind of hard to keep the hands planted. You can always lift up through the chest. No worries if you can't fold. We're going to bend through this knee, coming forward again into our lizard lunge. Just kind of pivoting the front toes to be 45 degrees. We're going to lift off the back knees and step this left foot back up to the front of the mat, also pointing these toes 45 degrees. We're going to just gently sit the hips down into a yogic squat here. Getting as far down as you can. No worries if you can't go too far. Just listen to your body. You don't need to take it very intensely. Just be gentle with yourself here if you like to add some movement. We're going to inhale, lift the hips, heel toe the feet to be shoulder distance apart. And then we'll exhale, forward fold, bending through the knees. On the inhale, we'll round through the spine all the way up to standing, arms overhead. Exhale, release. We're going to take this to the other side here. So our left foot kind of comes center of the mat, pointing forward. We're going to step the right foot back to face the long side of the mat. Our hips are open towards the long side of the mat. We'll inhale, reach the arms overhead. Exhale, bend 90 degrees into the front knee, coming into a warrior two, arms parallel to the ground, gaze over the front fingertips. Inhale, straighten the front knee, lift the arms. Exhale, bend the front knee, warrior two. Inhale, extend. Once more, exhale, release into a warrior two. Inhale, extend. We're going to pivot the front toes to the long side of the mat, kind of pigeon toeing them a little bit towards each other to protect the knees here as we fold. We're going to inhale, just lengthen through the spine. Exhale, hinge from the hips as we fold. Try not to round the spine here. You don't have to fold very far if it's not comfortable. You can always bend the knees too if you'd like. Wonderful. Inhale, just halfway lengthen, maybe lifting. Exhale, see if you can fold a little bit deeper. And then we'll inhale all the way back up to standing. Return on the heels so that the toes point outward. Inhaling, arms overhead. Exhaling, squatting down into our goddess, lowering those hips as low as you can. It's going to turn to face you. I feel like it's weird when I don't. Sitting nice and deep. Taking an inhale and exhale. We'll stand back up. We're going to pivot the front toes forward, coming back into our warrior two position. Wonderful. Inhale, the left arm reaches back overhead. And then the left arm comes forward onto this front knee. And we reach the right arm overhead. With a straight arm, try to gaze up under the armpit here. On the exhale, we'll pivot the back toes to face forward. The right hand plants inside of the left foot, and the left hand reaches up to the sky. On the exhale, the left hand plants down inside of the left foot. Maybe you kind of heel toe that left foot more towards the edge of the mat, dropping this back knee down. We're just taking a lizard lunge here, lizard pose. We'll inhale, open the chest. Exhale, push back the hips, straighten the front knee, flexing the toes. Again, just finding a nice version of this that fits your practice and your comfort level. Breathing into any discomfort. We're going to inhale, bend through the knee, come forward again. And here we tuck the back toes and step this right foot to the outside of our hands so that our feet kind of on the edges of our mat and they're pointing 45 degrees outward, so opening them a little bit. And then we sit the hips down into our malasana, our yogic squat. Such a great hip opening stretch. You can use your elbows here to push the knees away from each other. Rising high through the crown of the head if you can. We're going to plant the hands if not already and lift the hips, bringing the toes to point forward and our hip shoulder distance. We'll inhale, exhale, fold. On the next inhale, bend through the knees. We'll round through the spine, all the way up to standing arms overhead. Exhale, release arms by your side. Wonderful. From here, we're just going to take a little balancing tree pose. It's such a great posture to practice balance and strengthening. So our first level of tree
Hi
pose is
there.
just, hi, how's it going?
We're all here.
Hi, cool. Gardening.
We're
Hi,
watching.
cool. Hi,
Don't
nice
mind
to
us. You
meet
keep doing your
ya.
thing.
Okay. We're just gonna start with a nice tree pose, balancing. So our first step for this would be just to take the foot to the ankle. You can take the foot to the ankle, bring your hands to your heart, and simply balance like this. You can bring the foot to the inside of the shin, take a nice low tree here. Or if you'd like to take it to the most advanced level, you can try to bring this foot inside of the thigh. All we want to avoid is bringing the foot on the knee. Try to bring it to the shin or the thigh, just not the knee. We're going to squeeze the palms together, squeeze everything together to help us balance. Maybe focus on a single point. And don't forget to breathe. If you fall out at any time, that's okay. It's all part of it. Just come back in, give yourself some grace. Wonderful. We're just going to release this right leg down now and take it to the other side. The left foot, you can start maybe with just at your ankle, bringing that left foot to the ankle, pointing the knee outwards. You can bring the foot inside the shin. Or if you'd like, you can bring this foot inside of the right thigh. Once again, we're trying to squeeze everything to the center. finding a single point to focus our gaze at. Wonderful. We're going to gently release this right leg down. Maybe shake out the legs if you tensed up a lot during that. Wonderful. And we'll make our way to a seat. Sitting down, we'll extend the legs out straight in front of us, flexing the toes. Inhaling, bringing arms overhead. On the exhale, we're just going to take a gentle forward fold. Feel free to just bend the knees here. Feel pretty tight in the hamstrings. Taking a few breaths on the inhales. Maybe think about lengthening through the spine. And on the exhales, think about releasing and folding a bit more. Wonderful. Inhaling, we'll come back up. We're going to go ahead and take this right foot, bending it, bringing the right foot into the left hand, the right knee on the right hand here. Just add some circles, make kind of stirring a soup almost with your foot. Bringing the foot out and around. Maybe just gently trying to hug this shin in towards you. It doesn't have to be too much. Just a little bit, sitting nice and tall. And then we'll plant this right foot over the left leg. Inhale up with the arms. On the exhale, we'll twist open to the right. The right hand comes right behind you. The left arm can either hug the knee or the elbow can come outside of the knee for a deeper twist. Trying to bring the gaze over the right shoulder. Inhale deep into the belly. Exhale, releasing, come forward. Release the right leg out in front of you. We're going to take this left foot into the right hand. Take the knee into the left hand and just start to draw these circles again with the foot. Getting some movement in the hips. Wonderful. From here, we're going to hug this left shin in towards our chest. Just a little bit. You could try to bring the left foot towards the right armpit. If you can, not armpit, elbow. Just kind of pull it in, sitting nice and tall. And then we'll plant the left foot over the right leg here. Inhaling the arms up straight overhead. We're going to exhale, turn towards the left. Again, you can hug the knee, or you could take the elbow outside of the knee and twist a bit deeper, gazing over the left shoulder. Deep breath into the belly. And exhale, release, coming back through center. We're just going to round our spine all the way down onto our backs, hug our knees into our chest, give ourselves a little rock side to side. Opening the knees here, our arms come inside of the knees, and then our hands grab the outsides of the feet. And we just gently kind of open the feet, open the knees away from each other, and pull the knees down to the ground. This is our happy baby pose. Feel free to add some movement or rocking. Just enjoy this stretch. Check the time real quick. Awesome. Perfect. Releasing the feet here. We're going to plant the right foot down. Knee pointing up. The left foot is going to come on top of the right knee. So we're kind of making a figure four shape with the legs. And then we're just going to try to bring this right knee towards our chest. You can grab outside the knee or grab under the thigh. Our reclining pigeon. Slowing down the breath here. Release the right knee down and switch legs. The left leg plants, knee pointing up, and we take the right ankle over the left knee, kind of right above it, into a figure four shape. Opening that hip by pushing the knee away from you. And we're gonna just pull the left thigh, left knee towards us. Slowing down the breath. We'll release this left leg down. The right foot comes down, and we're just going to extend the legs out, open our palms up by our side, coming into our final posture, our Shavasana resting pose. Welcoming this rest with a nice deep inhale, filling the body with oxygen. And on the exhale, maybe open the mouth, let it go. Relaxing through the eyebrows.
Oh, we don't have gloves.
Allowing the eyes to close, relaxing through the jaw.
He's upstairs now, I know. Oh, okay. He's probably getting my destiny together.
Coming into our final posture with complete relaxation, allowing all that we've done today settle and integrate in our bodies.
Calling husband. That's hilarious. There you go, husband.
In our Shavasana here, just letting go of any control of the breath, or any control of your thoughts, just let yourself completely be. No need to force anything. I welcome you to stay much longer in the Shavasana. Give yourself plenty of rest after the practice today. Or you can start moving out with me, starting with a nice deep inhale, feeling the belly expand, feeling the ribs expand, feeling the chest expand. Maybe holding that breath until it gets uncomfortable and letting it go nice and slow. All the air out. Starting to wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes, roll the ankles and heels. Inhaling, giving yourself a full body stretch, arms overhead. And exhale, just kind of push yourself onto either side body, coming into a nice fetal position, letting yourself just soak up this last moment of rest before pushing your way back up to seated, coming into a nice, easy seated pose, center of your mat, fall at your own time. Closing this practice off with one last breath here. I'm just gonna inhaling the arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Maybe you'd like to just inhale, bring your hands to your third eye, connecting your third eye to your heart here, bowing to yourself and your light. Thank you so much for joining me today on the mat. It's honestly such a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again. Have a wonderful weekend. Namaste.
Namaste. Namaste.
Thank you.